The Lion King is probably my childhood favourite film, about accepting responsibility, living up to your potential, and also facing your past. But if we change the perspective a little bit, and instead focus on the disgruntled uncle, Scar. I'm going to have to include a bit of the Mufasa story because it's canon. I don't like it either, but it's better to be comprehensive, right? It becomes a story of adopting an orphan cub, accepting them into your life, only for them to usurp your rightful place as ruler, steal your girlfriend, and then refuse to even acknowledge or accept you. But to understand that, let me just put you in his claws. So imagine for a minute that you are Scar, originally born as Taka, or trash, a lion of unimaginable intellect, but somewhat below average strength, born to royal blood, and the brother of the adopted Mufasa, a lion that you deeply respected and cared about at one point in time, who over the years became ruthless, callous, and arrogant, treating you more like a leper than a brother or even a lion of royal blood, unlike him, who is a royal orphan. One day, though, you're just minding your own business when Mufasa announces that his wife, Sarabi, is pregnant. Now, this is the woman that you loved, the one he stole from you. Okay, yeah, sure, you might have had a jealous hissy fit, but you redeemed yourself and proved yourself right. Still, the idea of them having a baby has rubbed you the wrong way. With a little kid, they will become the next in line to the throne, and you will forever become a branch of the family. Now, when you think about it, if you never left with Mufasa in the beginning, you would be king in your own lands right now. Anyway, 100-ish days pass and the little crotch goblin is born. And he's about as insufferable as they come. And they called him Simba. Good lord, Mufasa. Bit on the nose calling your cub lion, isn't it? It's almost like being called ruler when you're a king. But this all starts your plan to overthrow Mufasa and the little crotch goblin. After all, now there's an actual heir, you can't just wait for Mufasa to die anymore and just get it anyway. Now you need to be a little bit more active in your coup. So you elect not to go to the birthing ceremony, partly because it will piss Mufasa off massively, but also partly because it's kind of cringe to attend these things and watching animals that you eat bow to you is a bit weird. But of course, his little errand boy Zazu appears, another relic of your past to remind you of unrequited love, and this little drumstick announces that Mufasa is on his way. Now, how arrogant do you have to be to have someone that goes ahead of you to announce your arrival? The idea of being king has seriously gone to his head. Ugh, this is going to be a chore, but it can be fun.
Descending from on high to mingle with the commoners.
That'll rub him the wrong way. The dude is completely egotistical.
Sarabi and I didn't see you at the presentation of Simba.
Oh, oops. Oh no. That's so terrible. Oh. So you do what any reasonable cat does in that situation when they're a bit uncomfortable. You scrape your claws over stone. Now, you're sharpening them or something.
You should have been first in line.
Did Mr. Bean just give you some attitude? That little punk ass needs to know his place, so you're kindly reminded that you were actually first in line for the throne, but then Mufasa actually has the audacity to remind you that Simba will be king. That just really makes your blood boil.
Don't turn your back on me, Scar.
Mufasa is only king because you took him in and helped him. Yes, you betrayed him, sure, but he stole the love of your life. You reacted in a fit of jealousy. It's just depressing how he's forgotten all of that, all of the good things that you've done for him. He should be thanking you, not thinking about challenging you.
I wouldn't dream of challenging you.
The dude sounds like Darth Vader. He will absolutely destroy you. And when they leave, you overhear them saying something about making you into a throw rug and taking you out and beating you when you get dirty. They really forgot that you're a cat, didn't they? There's absolutely no respect anymore. They don't even wait to get out of earshot before they start saying stuff behind your back. So now it's really time to start the coup. And while Mufasa is playing dad, you're going to play for everything. The next day, the little twerp pays you a visit. I mean, you were kind of spying on him, but whatever. Saying something about he will be king of you one day, and he's just really, really trying his best to annoy you, isn't he? And I mean, it's tough enough to listen to Mufasa say it, but hearing this little runt that's not even 2 days out of the womb saying this stuff, it just doesn't go down easy. So you decide to play a little game of social engineering, and as all great plans are, they are meticulously followed and executed step by step. But even better plans are when you can find an opportunity, and this is a golden opportunity.
Only the bravest lions go there.
Hook, line and sinker, right?
An elephant graveyard is no place for a young prince. Oops.
It's like a fish in the barrel. You almost feel bad, but also at the same time you don't. He's annoying and frankly incredibly entitled, and he deserves whatever bad stuff happens to him. And you simmer on that fact. If he does take the bait, you need to be ready. So you head out to the elephant graveyard and you prepare your hyenas for the upcoming feast. After a few hours, one of your hyenas comes up to you and says, Scar, the boy is on his way. Oh, and how did he manage that? Well, there was this musical number and giraffes stood on elephants and there was like a whole thing with hippos and it was really quite bizarre. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, it was crazy. Not to be outdone, you start planning your own musical number. But then Simba rudely interrupts you by actually coming to the elephant graveyard, and you send your best hyenas to do the job. Now, best is a bit of a stretch, but maybe they're the least worst. I mean, they're hyenas. Hyenas are stupid, and that's why you chose them, because they're so easily manipulated, and all you need to do is control the food, and you have them in your back pocket.
Oh, please, Uncle.
I mean, okay, yeah, so they're not exactly the best henchmen, but they can still do the job. After all, you're the brains, not them. You just need them for their jaws, which is the highest bite force of any carnivorous mammal, a whole 4,500 newtons of force, which is 4,400 quarter-pounders per square inch for you American friends out there. Or better yet, 1 SUV per square inch.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
And I mean, you practically gave them that kid on a silver platter, and they still talk about Mufasa's name. And I mean, yes, it means ruler, but just because yours meant garbage, I mean in Swahili at least, in Japanese it means hawk. Well, actually, they don't know that. And you let them know that this garbage lion will kill Mufasa. Anyway, you decide now is the time for your musical number and singing about taking over the kingdom and all of your plans and, of course, becoming king. A little bit of cheeky regicide. I mean, it's a pretty good musical number all in. You're very proud of yourself, and somehow the hyenas do a goose step. And I mean, you entertain that for a second, but that's a bit, not good. So you jump down and tell them that they need to be prepared. The next day, you take the little runt to the chasm and convince him to stay put, but it seems like he smells a rat. But that's okay. Again, not that big of a deal. You can use your social engineering skills to get him to sit on that rock like a good boy.
You might want to work on that little roar of yours.
And this is for plausible deniability. When that stampede starts, you can easily say that you overheard him trying to roar, and that's what caused it all to happen. That is a very cheeky little plan.
It's to die for.
I mean, you are really quite the clever little wordsmith, aren't you? You never really say a lie, but you say things that can be construed in a way that they will interpret in the best of ways. It's remarkable. So you head off, and not really 2 seconds later, you hear the wildebeest start their stampede. Now all you have to do is go get Mufasa, and surely he will leap at the chance to save his son without asking any questions how this all came to be. And sure enough, he does. By appearing here, you look like the concerned uncle, and no one will question you. So if things don't go the way that you plan, well, you're not going to get in too much trouble. And you watch. Credit where credit is due. Mufasa actually manages to save his son. It's a bit inconvenient, sure, but you can't really step forward and finish the job. And thankfully, he falls back in. Well, I suppose this is vastly more poetic now if you are the one that gets to finish the job. Something you secretly wanted to do all along. And it's quite lucky he managed to climb up the rock that you were standing over, and not any other one.
Long live the king.
Now that just gave you shivers. You are truly incredible, and as you watch your brother fall, you relish in the fact that it has all come to roost now. If only he didn't turn his back on you. If only he treated you like a brother and not some second-class citizen. You wronged him, sure. He did steal the love of your life, your throne, and even your name. You were once Taka. It's a bad name, sure, but not anymore because of him. To him, you are brother. Or Scar, the word that is a memento of him stealing the love of your life. He is not without fault here. He is arrogant, pompous, and strangely naive. It just goes to show that intellect always comes out on top. And you walk down, you see Simba, and start to twist that emotional knife, and make sure you should probably kill him. Hell, every other lion on this planet would. After all, it instantly puts every female into heat. But you're a different breed, and killing him with your own hands doesn't really scream plausible deniability, so you tell him to run, and send the hyenas after him. That way, you can say that he tried to get away, but the hyenas got to him first. No fuss, no mess. And killing him here would just be really messy. Putting on your best acting chops, you head to the Pride and tell them of the terrible news. Poor Mufasa is dead, and
So it is with a heavy heart that I assume the throne.
now the years pass, and well, things get pretty messed up actually. Somehow there was a drought, and all of the animals left. And maybe it was the fact that you brought 100 hyenas with you, and they just ate whatever they wanted, and everything they didn't eat just up and left, therefore disrupting the circle of life. Your best theory is, without all of the grazers, the grass overgrew and suffocated itself, and it led to the worst drought in recent memory. Either way, is a problem that you do not want to deal with. And honestly, it's a bit strange that the food lived with the king. It's like, imagine your subjects are your food. It's like a form of weird cannibalism, and they all accept that like it's normal. Like, what? What you're doing feels far more natural and far more reasonable. The animals are not your subjects. They're just your food. And you do try to make with Sarabi, thinking that as the new king and no cubs, that she would be immediately put into heat, but she kindly reminds you that it's only if you beat the previous king in combat that happens. After all, you need to kind of prove your genetic superiority. Well, it's annoying, but whatever. Not much you can really do about that one. Kind of the whole justification for your plan. One day you're just relaxing with Zazu in a cage where he belongs, because he kind of functions as your musical box these days, but he tries to sing It's a Small World and you nearly lose your mind.
Oh, I would never have had to do this for Mufasa.
And he dare mention that name in front of you. You are the king, not he. You. Ugh. And you made it a law that his name would never be mentioned in your presence. Anyway, your hyenas interrupt you just before you're about to finish the job, and they're pretty hungry, so what do? Well, you tell them to eat Zazu, because you're about to do that anyway.
I thought things would be better under Mufasa. What did you say?
Yeah, you're gonna kill them. 100%, these hyenas have got to go. But a few days later, you decide to have a meeting. And I mean, man, your love of her was not unjustified. She is dignified and proud and awfully tough. And so shame any love that you had for her is completely gone. But she's always been respectful to you and courteous. I mean, you could never harm her for that. But you know her attitude is secretly like a form of defiance. That, it's the type that you can never punish.
We have only one choice.
And she wants to leave the Pride Lands, and that is just a horrific thought. This is the Promised Land. This is where you were born to rule. You will not go.
You have sentenced us to death.
Where you don't care, because you are king, and kings can do whatever they want.
You were half King Mufasa.
How dare she say that? And now you can finally smack her for all that underhanded defiance that she's always shown you. No, that cannot be. Mufasa is dead. There's no way that could be him. He looks younger. There's no way he could have gotten younger, right? But then he lets it slip that he's actually Simba, and you almost die of relief. You can absolutely talk your way out of this. But still, this is another nail for your hyenas. They did not do what they said they did.
They think I'm king.
But then the females want to say that he's the rightful king? And I mean, sure, if we're assuming this is a prototypical European monarchy, but it's not. This is Lionland. And in Lionland, it's clearly the strongest or the more capable that rule. Even then, you were the one that was born to be the king. You were from royal blood. So if anything, you are the one that needs to be the king, not him. It seems like the term rightful has lost its meaning. And you have more than proven yourself to be king. Look at this land. It's prospering under your rule.
Step down or fight.
Ah, crap, he wants to fight, damn it. That means you're going to actually have to do your best smooth talking, because you cannot beat this guy.
I'd hate to be responsible for the death of a family member.
That'll rile him. He still thinks he's responsible for his father's death, and you can use that for leverage.
That's not gonna work, Scar.
Well, actually, it is. Simba, why wouldn't it?
Who is responsible for Mufasa's death?
I am.
Like, he admits it willingly? Oh, fair play, actually. He fully accepts that he's a murderer. But you have to pounce on this opportunity, because you need to play with emotions right now. If they think too hard on this, then they're probably going to side with him. So you need to make sure that they see him in the worst light possible and kill him as soon as possible, and you start stalking him to the side of a cliff. Just as a lightning bolt strikes the ground, and I mean, wow, talk about dramatic. You couldn't plan that better even if you wanted to. But you decide to twist the knife and make sure he knows that you were the one that killed his father. And why you decided to do that? Well, maybe it was hubris, and maybe it was that you secretly wanted to lose. Who knows? But what happens is that he leaps forward, and he looks like he's going to kill you. But you know, if his father forgave you, then Simba will forgive you too. So you admit to everything, because forgiveness is a lot easier. But then the hyenas stand in the way before you can actually talk your way out of this properly. And finally, those idiots were good for something, and you make your escape. But of course, Simba follows you.
You don't deserve to live.
Oh, yikes, bro. He's actually gonna kill you? He's actually a savage. I guess that makes sense. With Mufasa, you were his brother. And you took him in and looked after him, and you don't really have that bond with Simba. And you try to pin it on the hyenas, but that falls on deaf ears. But you actually do manage to talk him down. And thank God. And you grovel at his feet, because I mean, you really have no shame, and in a month you can get back to plotting his demise and everything will be great. Still, tinge of regret there. It's just a shame how it had to come to this. And now you're begging your life from your father's son. How the mighty have fallen. He tells you to run. So you do what any self-respecting cat does in that situation. You plot to fight dirty. And you find that opportunity, throw it in his eyes and start to rugby tackle him. And you guys have a little round of fisty cats, but then he throws you off the side of a cliff. And somehow you survive, only to be greeted by hyenas, and thank God for your friends.
Friends?
Oh crap. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a like, and I'm going to be back in Brazil in the next couple of days actually, and that means I can actually start downloading games and potentially even streaming them for, you know, for research purposes. So if you have a particular game we play it on computer, let me know which game you want to see, because that would be fun. I would very much like to do that. Anyway, I just want to shout out my members, especially Jay, and of course Lavender, Yuri and Alan. Thank you. Have a great day and have a great life.